isn't this a funny moment in America? There's a crippling cost of living crisis that has seen the price of all the basics, fuel, food, energy, go through the roof. Yet Kamala Harris is, so the media claims, surging in the polls. Now, this is interesting for two reasons. One, Harris has been vice president through the entire Biden administration that brought America this economic horror show. And two, Kamala Harris, well, hate to break it to you, but she's simply not that bright. Check out this ad that the Trump campaign has just released, maybe the shortest campaign ad in history, in which sees Harris confirm both of these points.
A loaf of bread cost 50% more today than it did before the pandemic. Ground beef is up almost 50%.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Ground beef, Mitch, up 50%. It's all up during the administration in which she served and still serves as the loyal vice president. Well done to the Biden-Harris team and all involved. Now, that grab of Harris was from a speech she gave in the last 48 hours in which she also admitted that under the Biden-Kamala Harris administration, the American dream of owning a home was increasingly, well, just a dream.
And sadly, right now, it is out of reach for far too many American families. There's a serious housing shortage. In many places, it's too difficult to build, and it's driving prices up.
But don't worry, Americans. Kamala Harris, now unburdened by the what-has-beens of the Biden administration, has a new catchphrase that will solve all these problems.
So now is the time to chart a new way forward. Now is the time to chart a new way forward.
A new way forward. Sounds more like a great leap forward to me. Anyway, gosh, I wonder what this will look like.
And I will work to pass the first ever federal ban on price gauging on food.
Price gauging? I think she meant to say price gouging, unless there is some new LGBTQI initiative that I'm unaware of. But of course, roughly translated, what she's talking about is price controls and giving the federal government the power to interfere in the free market for food. Now, this is, of course, a brilliant idea, which has had such amazing success everywhere. It has been tried from Venezuela to the Soviet Union to Mao's China. Well, no, of course, this is a terrible idea. It is, in fact, as the New York Post so perfectly put it, KAMUNISM. And as this meme going around today suggests, the soon we will be calling about the big new movement of the left will not be Black Lives Matter, but rather Bread Lines Matter. The real reason prices are so high, of course, is that Washington keeps printing money, making each dollar worth less and forcing prices to go up. And I believe shoveling cash into the economy, including hundreds of billions of dollars at illegal immigrants who will hopefully be shoveled out of the country en masse in a Trump administration. So, yeah, again, price controls, Kamalanomics, communism, a terrible idea. But also a desperate one as the Harris campaign tries to put some policy meat on a campaign that is so intellectually shallow that it makes deposed Immigration Minister Andrew Giles look like a deep thinker. But don't take my word for it. Here's CNN. Yes, CNN, that bastion of alt-right conspiracy theories. Well, here's their own economics correspondent breaking down all the ways in which Kamala's price controls are a horrible idea.
It's not going to be markets. It's not going to be supply and demand that's determining how much your grocery store charges you for milk or for eggs, it's going to be some bureaucrat in DC, which seems like totally unworkable, first of all, for the FTC to be deciding like how much Kroger charges for eggs in Michigan. But it also would be very bad for markets. We've seen this kind of thing tried in lots of other countries before: Venezuela, Argentina, the Soviet Union, et cetera. It leads to shortages. It leads to black markets, plenty of uncertainty. And beyond that, the specific way this bill is written might actually increase prices because of some of the other language in it, things like requiring companies, public companies, to disclose in their quarterly reports, their quarterly earnings reports, how they're setting prices, which is a great way to help them collude, which normally we don't want them to do.
It's so bad that even the Washington Post, which basically exists as an in-kind donation to the Harris campaign, has called it out in an article entitled, "When Your Opponent Calls You Communist, Maybe Don't Propose Price Controls." Catherine Rampell has written that it's hard to exaggerate how bad Kamala Harris's price gouging proposal is. Now, remember, this is the Washington Post we're talking about, right? If even they are calling out Kamala Harris's girl boss socialism, I can't see anybody thinks this is a good idea. Price controls and bread lines are all coming. I think we know just how hard left and economically reckless a Harris administration will be.